Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome back to The Explainer. Today we're looking at a pretty wild shift happening right now across top-tier university campuses. We're going to explore exactly how modern students are navigating the massive ethical and honestly practical dilemmas of an AI-driven academic world. You have to remember, they are the very first generation to integrate this kind of tech into their core educational experience. And what they're actually doing with it, it might really surprise you. So here is our roadmap for today's Explainer. It's basically a tug of war. We'll start with the dilemma itself, see how students are drawing the line, look at the clash happening in classrooms, uncover the human advantage, and finish up by facing down this very uncertain future. All right, let's jump straight into section 1, the modern student dilemma. I want you to picture this. You are sitting at your desk, you're totally overwhelmed with deadlines, but you know you suddenly have this massive, unprecedented technological advantage right at your fingertips. It really all boils down to one single question. If an AI can do your homework, should you let it? And the crazy thing is, this isn't some hypothetical thought experiment for the distant future. Students are facing this choice literally every single day. With every assignment, they have to decide, do I rely on my own brain and push through the friction of learning, or do I just pass the heavy lifting off to a machine? One student actually put it perfectly. They said, you have an available tutor at all times. For a lot of them, AI is viewed as just this incredible supplementary tool. It lets them learn way faster and get answers on the fly. I mean, think about it. Why wait 2 days for a professor to reply to an email when a large language model can break down a super complex concept for you at 2 in the morning? It's immediate, it's customized, and it is completely reshaping the speed of learning. Let's move to section 2 and see how this builds, because this is where it gets tricky, drawing the line between outsourcing and learning. To handle this, students are meticulously dividing up their labor. Think of it in 2 buckets. In the first bucket, you have the grunt work. Students like Gabrielle are using AI to hunt for little nuggets of information buried in dense 60-page PDFs. Or they use it to elevate their writing style, or just to get a personal project moving from 0 to 25%. But in the second bucket, that is the untouchable zone, the critical thinking. Students are strictly reserving the core structure of an essay, their raw interview skills, and the tweaking of highly nuanced sentences for themselves. They know, deep down, that if they outsource the whole shebang, they're going to lose their edge. Another student, Eric, brought up this brilliant framework he uses. He calls it the knowledge versus decision rule, and it makes so much sense. You outsource the information gathering and the basic knowledge queries to the AI, but, and this is absolutely crucial, you strictly reserve the final decisions for your own brain. As Eric pointed out, you do not want the AI learning faster than you do, because if the AI is making the critical choices, the machine gets smarter and the human just stagnates. So, how are schools handling this? That brings us to section 3, the classroom clash. Zooming out from the personal level to the institutional level, we are seeing 2 wildly different approaches playing out right now. On one hand, you have the older high school model, which is basically just banning AI. They ignore the tool entirely and force kids to write handwritten essays in class to stop cheating. But on the other hand, you have the modern university perspective, which is actively requiring AI. And the argument here is really strong. If the whole goal of college is to prepare you for the workforce, your assessments absolutely have to mimic a reality where AI is everywhere. Testing a student in a vacuum where AI doesn't exist, it just doesn't match the modern professional world anymore. So what does an AI-proof syllabus actually look like? Well, a student named Emily shared this amazing anecdote about her class, which was called Spies, Lies, and Algorithms. Cool name, right? Instead of banning the tool, the professor had them write a memo on North Korea with very specific steps. First, you intentionally use AI to find the initial sources. Second, and this is the kicker, you have to identify the gaps and flaws in the AI's research. And third, you have to verbally defend those findings with a teaching assistant. You literally can't just copy and paste. You have to critically analyze the machine's output and prove to a human that you understand it. Now, what's really interesting about this next point is the inequity of it all. $20, that is roughly the monthly cost of a premium AI model right now. And students are raising a very valid question here. Is it really fair to grade a class on the exact same curve when one student can afford a $20 subscription that can read and summarize 400 articles in 5 minutes, while another student is stuck on a slow, limited free tier? It's an incredibly uneven playing field, and universities are really going to have to figure out how to level it. Moving right along to section 4, the human advantage. Because of all this, students are actively changing their career paths and their majors. Take Millie's story, for example.
She actually switched her major entirely, from computer science over to electrical engineering. Why? Well, because seeing the AI's vastly superior coding ability caused a genuine existential crisis for her. She realized, trying to build core AI models from scratch and directly competing with the machine, that might be a losing battle. Instead, it's way safer and smarter to shift focus to applying AI, treating it as a tool you plug into rather than trying to outcode the thing. The reality we are living in now is that anyone can essentially just buy code. So what sets you apart? Soft skills. Students are pivoting hard to focus on human-centric abilities. You have international relations majors leaning into tech security. You have computer kids literally taking improv classes. They're realizing that thinking on your feet, expressing yourself clearly, and deepening actual human connection, those are the true commodities of the future. You really have to figure out what you actually want to do with your life because, well, the AI is going to handle the busy work.
Which brings us to our final section, facing an uncertain future.
Let's step back for a second and look at how this generation actually feels, holding the most powerful technological tools in human history. When looking at an AI-driven future, are you more excited or are you more afraid? The truth is, students are living in this constantly fluctuating binary of emotions. And psychologically speaking, profound fear and immense excitement actually trigger the exact same autonomic nervous system responses in our bodies. Depending on the day or even the hour, a student might swing wildly from total terror to total thrill. So the crucial point is understanding where that fear actually comes from. It stems from this super unsettling feeling that AI possesses something akin to wisdom, right? This isn't just a faster loom or a better steam engine. This is a technology that replicates cognitive work. That is a trait we previously thought was exclusively human. So yeah, it is incredibly valid to feel a sense of dread when a machine starts intruding on the territory of human thought and creativity. But then there's the excitement. And this comes from the sheer, undeniable relief of massive efficiency. I mean, imagine the feeling a student gets when they can instantly generate a website, format a flyer, or debug a block of code in seconds. Automating those mundane tasks instantly frees up their mental bandwidth. It literally gives them their time back so they can push human ambition even further. And that brings us to our final thought. A student named Sid beautifully challenged this entire paradigm. He asked, if AI handles all the small tasks, all the grunt work, all the basic coding and structuring, shouldn't our new educational goal be to tackle massive problems? If we don't have to spend hours on efficiency anymore, shouldn't we be thinking much, much bigger? Like, I don't know, exploring other planets? If the machines are managing the details, what monumental leaps should human intelligence be focusing on next? I'm going to leave you to ponder that one. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer and keep learning.